Yo, what's up, guys? Grim here with our final video on the new Atlas. I think I've done pretty much everything you can do without actually playing the game. And yeah, the quick disclaimer, things might change in the actual game. Sextant radiuses might change, which would completely null and void all the information in this video. So if they have changed, don't worry about this video. There'll probably be a new one up on this channel by then, and you can watch that one instead. So make sure that if you're using this, it's just all speculation, and you're kind of just preparing yourself if things go the way we think they're going to go. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. So basically, what I've done here is from the last video, I've taken all the information from that video, and I've adjusted it with a few different points. Mainly with the fact of sextant blocking, I've completely excluded all the red maps and like the blocks that they had on other maps. So basically, what that means is it makes a bunch of maps like Vault quite a lot worse because it loses a lot of the blocks which were in the red zone previously. So what I've gone ahead and done is completed three different shaping strategies, which will, in my opinion, kind of define the new Atlas and what people will be doing. And a lot of them do revolve around the Tier 14 shaped map Vault. Um, yeah, so there's kind of the two vault strategies and then the not vault strategy. So you're kind of choosing between two things really. The other one just has like a few minor differences in terms of the lower tier maps. So to just start off, I want to say you may have the option to completely not run any 11s, 12s, or 13s, which would completely change a lot of the different things on what you can shape here. Um, I'm not entirely sure if that will work. It hasn't worked in the past for me in current live because it's too hard to sustain a tier 15 map pool, but it may work in 3.1. I have no idea. This is just my best guess. So yeah, moving straight into it, I will show you all the stuff on the Atlas and how it looks. Just to kind of lead the conversation here, I will be not shaping Vault and I will be doing a kind of different route, more focused on good layouts and not so much divination cards and stuff like that. And the reason for that is that Vault takes up a lot of sextants, a lot of yellow sextants, which are going to be very pricey. And the reason for that is white sextants are going to no longer have as much use because you can't put white sextants on good maps anymore, with a few exceptions, which I'll show you. Yeah, okay, so getting straight into it. I'll show you the vault route number one on the Atlas, and I'll talk a little bit about it for you. Let me just bring up Photoshop here and move this over here. Okay, so the first route is kind of based around what tier 11 you want to shape, and that'll have effects on what you can do later on. So if you want to shape a jungle valley, um, this route will be for you basically. To start off, you can't, if you took Vault, you can't shape up the good maps, Atoll or Ashenwood. You only have the choice between Jungle Valley and Cemetery. So yeah, and if you wanted to shape another less optimal route, you can do that too, if you have a different preference. But yeah, let's get into a Jungle Valley to start off with. So in terms of your tier 11, obviously it's Jungle Valley, and for tier 12s, you have two options. You can either do a new map down here, which we haven't seen before. It might be bad, it might be good, I have no idea. You can do this new one over here, which is, I've called it tier 7B. So as you can see, lots of sections go on here. You got a few good blocks here. There is one here in the red, which I've excluded from their fixed up calculations. But yeah, it looks pretty good. You can get a lot of potential down here. The other option you have is dunes. And the reason you would do dunes is because it has one of the best layouts, obviously, in the game currently. And you can just have a shaped tier 12 and just power through it like Al can go. You don't necessarily need to sexton it up. And by doing that, you actually free up a lot of room on the Atlas to choose better maps later on in the other tiers. So yeah, I will actually personally be doing dunes in all of my strategies because it just doesn't like clutter up my Atlas. Um, yeah, so it's mainly going to be used as like primarily to build up your map pool, unless you want to do this tier 12 here. Yeah, so moving on, we'll just leave this one here to show you as an example. If you took this here, the tier 7B, you have to take Shore. However, if you didn't take that and you took Dunes, you do have an option here. You can actually take Tropical Island instead. As you can see, the two overlap. So you have the choice between the new map and Shore, or Tropical Island and Dunes. So that's kind of your little decision point there. You choose what you want. Yeah, for our tier 14, obviously we have the big daddy up here, Vault, which is like a mother of a mess up here, but yeah, it turns out to be quite good. However, as you can see over here, a lot of the really good blocks for Orchid are in the red, so I've excluded those in the fixed up calculations. So yeah, it's still a really good map though. And for your tier 15, you only actually have one option if you took this new map down here, and that is Bog. But that's fine because Bog is actually the best tier 15 to do. In my opinion, anyway. Maybe you have a different preference, but yeah, Bog is really good. It's got a sick layout. It's super open, and you can go around the edges and then just clean up the middle, and it's really sick. And Bog actually has quite a few good sextant opportunities on it as well. Namely, that you can get a yellow sextant on it with 4 blocks, which is decent for a red map, like tier 15, like you know what I'm saying. Yeah, but as you can see here, the other sextant location, which I might add has 9 blocks, which is nuts, is all in the red. So we have to exclude all of that stuff, which is a bit unfortunate. So Bog only has 1 sextant. But yeah, still good. It's still really good. It'll be fantastic for building up your map pool, and you can drop it later on if you have like a shitload of Vault. Yeah, okay, so moving on to option 2 for Vaults, which will be a different kind of layout. I'll just disable all these for you real quick. And this one will revolve around, instead of Jungle Valley, it will use Symmetry. Symmetry has one really big problem with it, and that is the fact that it uses Parandus mana for one of its sextant locations, and a lot of the blocks revolve around Parandus mana. In live, Parandus mana is a complete bitch to get, and that's really annoying. I don't know how easy it will be to get on the new Atlas. Maybe it drops, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe you have to run Parandus with Zana and buy it from Kadiro. And if that's the case, just no one will run this sextant kind of blocking route, and it will all just be Jungle Valley instead. I will still go over it though, because I think Parandus mana, like I have a sneaking suspicion it will be a bit easier to obtain. So yeah. So yeah, you go Symmetry for your tier 11. And then there is a big difference here. You either get tier 7A, which is up here, where Jungle Valley was before, or you can get Dunes again. Your choice. This one actually has quite a few good blocks, but it does have another one here in the red, which has to be excluded. So it does lose one to the center of the Atlas. So yeah, or Dunes, which I said before. Next up, you have the option between Shore and Tropical, which is really good. Either one of those, your choice. And then, like, finally, obviously, we have Vault, which is up here. However, the difference between these two routes is now we can't get Bog, which is kind of shit. So I will show you which alternatives we have here in the new one, and there is actually only one, and that is this one over here, right down here, which is, unfortunately, I believe it's overlapping with Tropical, is it? Let me turn off Shore. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so yeah, you can grab tropical on that. So yeah, it looks like yeah, you can grab only this one for your tier 15. Um, which I don't know how good it is. We'll have to see whether it's really good or really bad. Yeah, really no more information than that. So yeah, we'll have to see. A lot of that's a lot of like a lot of the new maps. Like we just can't tell if they're going to be good or not. Which is actually why I think that a lot of people will just cut their 11, 12, and 13, because I think a lot of them are going to be pretty bad, these new maps. So yeah, moving on to my personal preference for the new 3.1 expansion, and I'll just bring it up over here, is this kind of route here, which includes Atoll or Ashenwood as the tier 11. And these are extremely powerful. I'll show you why. So yeah, as we can see here, Atoll has a whopping 7 blocks on Armory, a decent 4 on Maelstrom, and Gorge, which is a white sextant, which is really relevant, has 5 blocks. And like white sextants are going to be dirt cheap, like super cheap, because you can't really use a ton of them. There's no primordial pool where you can whack 5 white sextants on there anymore. A lot of people are just going to be 3 to 1ing them for yellow sextants. So yeah, you probably can get like a sick bargain on this, and you can always have a free sextant on a toll. So that's really nuts, and that's what really draws me to not doing Vault, because you can't take either of these options with Vault. Um, Symmetry is somewhat like appealing with the 2 white sextants, however their blocks are pretty low. So yeah, that's kind of like the draw for this strategy. If you really like either of those maps, you can take them. Atoll is, in my opinion, better though. Okay, so moving on for our tier 12. I'll just put Atoll on this one here because that's what I'm choosing. We do have a few options here. Let me just move this back over. Yeah, we have Dunes, which I'll be taking, or we have any of the new maps, any of the new tier 7s, so you can't cover a lot of bases there. You can choose either of these. Because we're not taking Jungle Valley and we're not really taking anything down here. Now, do remember though that this one will block you out from taking Estuary and Tropical Island. So if you want either of those, you can't take the new Tier 7 beat, which I've put here. Um, yeah, so we're going to go with this one up here because we're going to go with this one down here because there is something I want to do up here later on. So we'll keep beat. Yeah. Actually, we'll take it off completely because I'm taking Dunes. Yeah, again, you can see how much of an impact on the Atlas leaving out like a Sexton at up tier 12 has, and just taking Dunes and powering through it, Elk and Go kind of thing. I'll be taking Tropical Island, however, you can take Shore if you so desire. And then finally, I'll be taking Plateau, which is up here, and I'll explain why I'm taking Plateau. The reason I'm taking it is because for a build like I'm planning on playing in the new patch is you can do it in like a minute or lower with support, and that's way more valuable compared to Vault, which has like a shitload of like rooms and stuff you can charge into, and you got to pull levers and stuff to get all the mobs, and yeah, that's going to take at least 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. I haven't really run a lot of Vault myself, but yeah, I really like Plateau has the layout which is a lot like Atoll, and you can just charge through that. All the mobs are going to be really densely packed, like yeah, really good. Yeah, there is like another alternative here, but it is mutually exclusive with Tropical, and that is Estuary. Both of them are pretty similar. You can fit an extra Sexton on Plateau if you want. However, the block's kind of weak. So it's like two weak ones here, and then like Estuary has like one weak one, because you can see. I'll just bring it up for you. Is that it? I think this is it. No, that is it there. It's already up. Yeah, so oh no, it's actually not. I haven't got it on this layout, but yeah, Estuary, it's like kind of like you can see what it would be here. You've got one here with no blocks. You got Estuary itself with no blocks, and then Arachnid Tomb over here with one, two, three neighbors, and then we can't take any of these actually. So yeah, you have Estuary with 3 blocks on it. Is that right? Three, four, five. Anyway, Estuary is like basically the point is Estuary's layout is kind of mediocre, and this second section here doesn't have any blocking on it. And yeah, like I'd much prefer to run Plateau. Oh, however, you have the option. It's up to you. Oh, it actually does look like it has some pretty good blocking down here. It looks like it's got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks for Arachnid Tomb without going into the red. So yeah, that is actually pretty decent. But yeah, as for our tier 15, I actually do have it here. Yeah. Anyway, as for our tier 15, we will be taking Bog. Bog is just the best choice, especially if you go to complete a few of these tier 11s and 12s. Yeah, so there's three kind of strategies. You can either take Vault, well, two really. Vault with a few minor variations, or you can take the route that I showed you just then, which I'll bring up on the screen again, which includes kind of like a few of these. Some of the new maps might be really good, like especially some of these new tier 15s, as you can see here, like decent. But really, like this is kind of how it's gonna be, in my opinion. Like, there's not heaps of different options in terms of like blocking and stuff like that. And even just looking at some of the layouts, there's really not too many really good ones to choose from. Like all of this area, you can't shape up. So really, your like options are kind of limited a little bit. So you kind of have to go with like either vault strategy or kind of like build your own adventure kind of strategy. But yeah, that's I'll just leave it at that. Hope you guys learned something. Keep in mind, section radiuses might like change, and if they do, I'll have a new video for you on what I'll be doing. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.